Hi everybody, Rachel here from Rachthestamper.com, and I was just working on my Easter blog hop project, which is coming up this Saturday, March 18th, and I thought, it's been a while since maybe anyone knew how to use the Stamp-a-ma-jig, so since I'm using it for my project, I thought I would give a quick tutorial on how to use this in case you don't know. So basically, when you get the Stamp-a-ma-jig, you get this little clear, it's like a window sheet but thicker. It's two-sided. One is smooth and one is a little bit more bumpy, and you get this little Stamp-a-ma-jig doodad. So you can use this either way. It is ambidextrous, so left or right-handed stampers can use it. It probably gets neglected. I think this is one of the first things I bought, and I will admit I haven't used it all that frequently, but I am glad that I have it on hand when I need it, because occasionally something will pop up where I'm trying to figure something out, and as you all know, I don't like to put my stickers on the back, so this can be rather helpful. So essentially, I'm going to show you how to use this. So what I wanted to do is, we're also going to be doing masking, so this is like a 2-for-1. So I wanted to put Celebrate and Easter. So these are from 2 different stamp sets. Let me just show you really quickly. The Sweet Sayings has the Celebrate You. Actually, it's the same. I fibbed. Celebrate You, and then Wishing You All the Beautiful Blessings of Easter. So I wanted to do the Celebrate and the Easter. So I'm going to show you how to do this. So there's 2 different ways that you can do it. Essentially, you do want to make sure that you pick a darker ink when you do it, because it is easy to see, even if that's not the ink you're necessarily going to be stamping with. And I'm hoping I'm going to show you how to do this once the right way. So we'll see. You know how it is with me. It's always an adventure. So I'm going to go with, I'll do the Archival Black. I'm not sure if you do use Stays On, it will not come off, just FYI. Hopefully this will come off, but trial and error, here we go. So what you do first is you place the stamp how you want it on your block, and if you have a regular block, it just is how it is, but you do not move it. So once you put it on, that's how it is, so just make sure you know that. So you're going to ink up your image that you want to stamp, and I should have done this a different way, but anyway, so we're going to just put this in place at the top of the square and stamp. So my square is all the way butted up. This clear sheet is all the way butted up to the corner. Okay, so now you're gonna have, we're gonna do 2. So this one is going to be your top stamp, and then you could do it here and turn it, but there's too much smudging. So I'm gonna go ahead completely around 360. So I'm gonna butt this up again, and I'm gonna now grab my other stamp that I have, and I'm gonna ink it up. Doesn't have to be perfect because it's just for example, and I'm just going to fit it right in the corner of the square and press down. Okay, so again, I don't know. I'll tell you when I clean this if this did or didn't work correctly. But I'm going to put the black away because I don't want to stamp with the black. So here are your 2 stamps. So Celebrate You, Easter. Again, this is going to stay a little wet. You want to put it on the shinier side. It doesn't really matter. If you put it on this side, it's just going to be a little blurrier and it's going to make your image look funny, but theoretically, they both do the same thing to my knowledge. So I'm just going to set this on the side just for a moment while I clean these 2 blocks off. So my Stampin' Scrub here, it's already wet because I've been trying to brainstorm and come up with ideas. For some reason, I don't know, I think I still have Disney on the brain and I can't think of anything except going back to Disney World, which isn't happening anytime soon. So when you're not there, you think about it. Okay, so I'm going to stamp with Bermuda Bay. So you want to keep this little tool handy. Get out the ink you're going to stamp with, and I'm going to move this so it's clear. That way you can see a pretty white sheet, and hopefully that will help you to visualize. So I just have a piece of scrap paper. This has something else stamped on the other side. Now, this, we're going to stamp our Celebrate part first. So we want to put this in the corner where our paper is. So I'm hoping you can see that that meets up right there. And now what we're going to do, you can do this 2 ways. So I have Bermuda Bay. I also have the Bermuda Bay marker, because sometimes it's easier to use the marker, sometimes it's easier to use the ink pad, and I will explain. So I'm going to open my ink pad. I'm going to move the big one just out of the way for now. And I'm going to take my stamp, and remember I told you I wanted to mask. I don't want the whole thing. So you can do this 1 of 2 ways. You can take your marker and color in the word you like, or you can use a Post-it note. And I just clean this so it doesn't stick quite as well. When they're dry, they stick really, really well. But basically, I'm going to just give this a really good press just to make the adhesive part stick to the words that I don't want, and that was stuck out of where I wanted it. You can also do this with tape. Just clear regular like Scotch tape, wrapping paper tape. Okay, so it's slightly not where I want it, but it's just like I said, it's because it's just slightly damp. Let's see if I can do this again just to show you the right way. I'm sorry, I didn't want this video to take 12 hours. Okay, so let's just line it up where we don't want to have the ink and just press. Okay, so now you're going to take your stamp pad and you're going to ink it up. Okay, it's nice and inked. I'm going to set that there for a second. And if you were trying to line up this, you want to make sure you line it up where you want it to be. So we're going to put this kind of in the middle of this paper here. Right there. And then you're going to bring your square down to meet your paper, and then you're going to take your paper out of the way. Okay, so we have inked up this. The most important part is make sure you take off the Post-it note, or else you're going to have a big fat mess under there. So now you're going to just flip your thing over so you have it lined up where you want it. Just put your fingers there and just drop it down just like that, straight up. Now I didn't mask that as well as I'd liked, but you get the point hopefully. So we're going to clean this one off, move this to the side. Now I'm going to put this away because this stamp is kind of large, so it's a little bit hard to mask. So what we're going to do instead is we're going to open the brush tip of our marker, just like so, and we're going to just fill in the Easter. So I'm going to just go over the Easter. And you could do this with the other one if you'd like to as well, instead of doing the masking with the Post-it note. Totally your choice. And if for some reason you mess it up, you can always wipe it off with like a baby wipe or a wet paper towel or something. Okay, just make sure. That looks nice. Let me just get this little smudge off. Okay, so I'm going to close my marker. Now I'm going to take the other side of my little words that I have here. So this is dry. And we're going to figure out where do we want the Easter to be. I know it's a little hard because of the other words there, but just kind of generally line it up where you want it. So now you can see this is totally in a skewed. It doesn't really look like it will match. But what we're going to do is we're going to line up our little square. Make sure we have it where we wanted it. We're going to line up our square with the clear sheet. Once again, lift the clear sheet, move it out of the way. Since we markered this, we want to huff on it. And then just line this up with the corner and press. Okay, so I know it's a lot lighter, but aside from this little goof that we missed up here when I colored the leaf in, that's how it works. So essentially, you just get to line up any words that you like. So if you wanted to say, celebrate Easter, and then put something else here, wishing you, or wishing you a happy Easter, whatever, you can block out whatever word you like, and then you just clean this off and start over again, just like that. So now you have a clean thing, and you can do it again. And then what I'm planning on doing with this is cutting it out, but I just thought that would give you guys a little, this is the one I messed up before when I was trying to show you, but it's a little cleaner, except I got my little marks there. That's the other thing. When you are stamping, you want to make sure you go straight up and down. Don't rock, and try to use a block that matches your image size, because you'll get a better image and less likely to get these little rocking marks. So anyway, hope that was a little tidbit for you there with using the Stamp-a-ma-jig. If you don't have one already, you might want to think about getting one. And I'm going to just check right now with the archival black ink. I have somewhere, sorry, I just cleaned. So I want to wipe this off. I'll see if this works. Or if I should tell you to stick with the, nope, look at that, cleans right off. So archival black ink is still safe. You just don't want to use the Stays On, probably, or the Memento. I mean, there's a tiny shadow here from the words, but it's nothing that would really impede. Worst case scenario, you could always get yourself a little Stays On cleaner. But again, this is double-sided, so you could use either side. And it really is helpful for lining up things. And this is also really helpful too if you are, unlike myself, a little bit anal about what the inside of your cards look like. Like if you want your image to be perfectly lined up, you would do the same thing, stamp your sentiment, put it down, line it up, and then you would have something that's perfectly even instead of kind of like askew, which is kind of how mine usually end up. So maybe I should use mine a little bit more for the inside. But anyway, if you're thinking about getting this, maybe this will convince you one way or the other, or maybe teach you what it is for in case you don't know. So thanks for taking time to watch, guys. Have a great day.